If you want to end a cycle, learn from this year's experiences, and take a step into a new phase of life, you can adopt the principles of Stoic philosophy. Here are 10 practical habits you can start practicing every day. Stoic philosophy focuses on practice, offering mental tools, daily attitudes, and useful practices to help you deal with various situations, benefiting both yourself and the people around you. Before we go any further, enjoy the Christmas spirit and leave your like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Your help allows us to create more content like this and bring mental clarity to more people. Now, let's explore the 10 Stoicism-inspired habits designed to mark the transition from 2023 to 2024. 1. Start small. George Washington, a leader who played an important role in the formation of the United States, liked the idea that, as we plant a seed, so we reap a tree. Investing wisely in small things can bring big results. Even though it's a simple phrase, it hides important truths. The first is that great things are built from small things, sometimes very small things like a seed. In life, great achievements result from the sum of small actions in our daily lives. Similarly, Seneca, an influential philosopher who taught Stoicism in ancient Rome, was right to say that well-being is achieved through small steps. And that's not unimportant. He understood that change doesn't happen all at once, but through small, intentional advances. We can think of it like planting seeds. Each small seed has the potential to grow into something incredible. When we apply this principle to our goals and habits, we can use the practical example of the goal to read more. Instead of setting a difficult goal that's hard to reach, commit to small but steady progress. Reading 1 page a day may not seem like much, but added together, these small steps can take you a long way, as Epictetus teaches us. Nothing great is created all at once. Remember that a long journey begins with a single step, and a habit is formed through consistent action. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, talks about a very interesting idea. Atomic habits are not only powerful, they are fundamental, just like an atom, which is the smallest part with great power. In the same way, our small habits are like the foundation for deep and lasting changes. If we ignore the power of small daily tasks, we run the risk of falling into the suddenly trap. Suddenly, I want to be an avid reader, but I'm going to start tomorrow. Suddenly, I want to get fit, but I'm going to order a snack for that meal. Suddenly, I want to have money to invest, but this month I'm going to spend it all on my card and next month I'll manage. Big, hard-to-achieve promises become stronger when we think that big results will suddenly happen. Instead, focus on what's right in front of you, what's possible and achievable. Start reading a page a day, make healthier choices for lunch, control your spending on this payment. By putting these small daily victories together, you'll see how they transform and turn into significant changes over time. So as we enter the year 2024, let's embrace and recognize the power of starting small. Always remember the wise words of Zeno of Scythia: no act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted. So, when facing any goal or change you want to implement, remember the valuable lesson of Stoic philosophy. The power of consistency in small actions is the key to achieving significant and lasting long-term achievements in your life. 2. Establishing connections with people who contribute to your growth is fundamental. The influence of those around us goes beyond what we usually perceive. Although this idea is not innovative, the Stoics, such as Seneca, understood it deeply in their writings. He emphasized the value of surrounding yourself with individuals who promote development and wisdom. In his words, associate yourself with those who will make you a better person. This concept is not only limited to the field of friendships, but to all the people who influence us and shape your character and your life. The people we share most of our time with usually reflect the qualities we admire and want for ourselves. That's why we have to think about and evaluate who we hang out with and are influenced by. The search is not to find perfect people, but to identify those who challenge us, promote growth, and are aligned with our values. The idea is not to associate only with people who praise you, especially if that praise is empty, but with people who influence you to be better. Build your own historical circle, engage in activities that feed your mind and spirit, and also become a person that other people want to associate with. As Seneca wisely said, we learn as we teach. When we surround ourselves with people who push us to achieve our best selves, we not only rise to the occasion, we exceed expectations. May the year 2024 be a phase in which we carefully tend our garden of influences, ensuring that each individual who makes it up contributes in a meaningful way to our personal journey of growth and self-reflection. 3. Create a routine. Think of your day as a puzzle. Without a routine, it's like having loose pieces with no connection. However, by following a routine, you organize these pieces, creating a clear and complete picture. A routine won't turn you into a robot with a set schedule. The power of a routine is not in being rigid, but in offering a path to direct your energy effectively. Routine can be like a map that guides your choices, bringing clarity to act in our lives when we know what we need to do. It gives our brain predictability. In this way, it spends less energy trying to guess what will happen in the next moment of our day, making us more efficient and productive. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, already knew this and once said, "Life without a goal is completely empty. A well-structured day is a day well spent." Sometimes we understand the word goal only for important objectives, as something distant to be achieved. But in fact, it can be applied to every moment of our lives. So how do you organize your routine? It's not just about copying other people's habits or plans, but about creating a routine that works for your life. If you're young, live with your parents, and are in your 20s, your life is completely different from someone who is a mother with 2 children, for example. Or if you're married and have obligations and responsibilities related to your home, children, and family. It's therefore essential to start by identifying the cards you currently hold in life. Understand what you have and what your possibilities are. In other words, what you can do with what you have. Build your routine on this. This means understanding where you currently are in your life, identifying your circumstances, resources, and responsibilities, then clearly define where you want to go, setting realistic and meaningful goals. By understanding your current position and visualizing your goals, you can align your capabilities and resources to create a viable and effective routine. Dedicate your most productive hours to the most important tasks, those that require your full attention and creativity. For me, routine starts early. It's about controlling tomorrow and not letting it control me. I start my day early with activities that set a positive tone, such as meditating, exercising, or studying. This gives me more clarity even before the world wakes up. However, it's important to remember that a routine isn't just about work. It's a question of balance. Include habits that nourish your mind, body, and soul. This could involve reading a book or spending quality time with someone you love. And no matter what, stick to your routine. Consistency is the link that holds everything together. As you build this routine, realize that it becomes a foundation for cultivating good habits. After all, as Seneca reminds us, principles are necessary. And what is a routine if not a principle that you live by every day? Accept this structure and watch as uncertain chaos is transformed into a symphony of productivity and peace. By embracing a balanced routine, you not only master your day, but also create space for personal growth and deep, true well-being. 4. Do something that challenges you. With life made so easy by technology, we can challenge ourselves. Believe me, it's not just because we live surrounded by technology that we end up becoming complacent. The Stoics, over 2,000 years ago, without all the facilities we have today, also suffered from this. At the beginning of each year, Seneca didn't just set resolutions, he practiced voluntary suffering, an exercise that the Stoics considered fundamental for developing the mental stamina to deal with adversity. He made a powerful statement when he dived into the cold waters of the river Tiber. He didn't do it to swim. It was a demonstration of self-control. He firmly proclaimed, "I am in charge." And even though the water was cold, Seneca lit a flame of personal affirmation and resistance in his mind. It serves as a vivid reminder that sometimes doing something challenging can be the most empowering and revealing act we can do for ourselves. Now, how can we incorporate this valuable historical lesson into our lives? It all starts with getting out of your comfort zone. Choose something that challenges you, something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. It could be drinking coffee without sugar, for example, keeping up a month of exercise without missing a workout, waking up an hour earlier to meditate and study, braving a cold shower, or even breaking the pattern and learning a new skill. The activity itself is a means. The purpose of the action is to expand your own personal limits. In moments of discomfort, we experience remarkable personal growth. It is in these moments that we truly discover what we are capable of. The essence of this practice lies not only in the difficulty itself, but in the reaffirmation of our will over our own instincts. It is a testimony to our inner strength, a clear demonstration that we are much more than our fears and indecisions. There is no gain without pain, and this is a fundamental concept in Stoicism, as the philosopher Epictetus reminds us. Difficulties show a person's character. In 2024, put yourself to the test. According to the Stoics, it is in difficult times that we come to know our true nature and inner strength. 5. Don't let anxiety overwhelm you. Seneca reminds us that even when everything is fine in the present and we're not sure that anything will go wrong in the future, many people live with a fever of anxiety. Letting anxiety control you is like facing a storm that we all face. But this storm doesn't happen in the sky, it happens inside us. Anxiety is like a shadow that follows us around, whispering about what might go wrong, what might happen if it does, and wrapping around us like an invisible chain that binds us with countless imaginary possibilities. But here's a Stoic truth. We're not actors on a stage, and anxiety shouldn't be the director dictating our steps backstage. Marcus Aurelius, a man who was leader of the largest empire in the world in his time, understood this. In his meditations he wrote, "Today I freed myself from anxiety, or rather I let it go because it was inside me." That's a powerful discovery. The storm is not outside, it doesn't block paths, but it is inside us, filling our minds and closing off all our possibilities. Now, how can we get rid of this invisible current? The first important step in dealing with anxiety is to take control of our own feelings. It is crucial to realize that anxiety arises from our thoughts, judgments, and perceptions, and is not directly caused by what is around us. It distorts our vision, turning small problems and insignificant situations into major challenges. The key is to see clearly, control our judgments, and face each situation as it is. At this point, the practice of mindfulness becomes invaluable. Take a deep moment and ask yourself the direct question: is this worry we feel a result of what is happening now, or does it come from fear of what might happen in the future? We'll discover that it's more related to the second scenario. Too much anxiety doesn't help us, in fact it paralyzes us. It's like a rocking chair. You're always moving, but you're not going anywhere. In fact, there is movement, but no real progress. In Stoic wisdom, we understand that it is crucial to overcome this illusion and seek a calm balance in the face of uncertainty. So this new year, don't just wish, but commit to freeing yourself from the chains that bind you to anxiety. The difference between wishing and committing is action. To commit is to act, plan, and achieve a goal. Focus on having a clear mind and a firm heart. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, we have control over our mind, not over external events. When we understand this, we find invaluable inner strength. Let's always remember that the only storm we need to face is within ourselves. Accepting this truth and making the effort to deal with it is the way to achieve greater peace of mind and a more serene life. If anxiety is overwhelming you and you feel you can't cope with it, I made a video showing how the Stoics helped me overcome it. Click on the first comment and watch the video now. 6. Give yourself permission to stop. There is a true story of self-control about Dwight Eisenhower, hero of the Second World War and President of the United States. A figure whose choices changed the course of human history faced a formidable enemy: his addiction to smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day. His doctor's firm words served as an urgent call: stop smoking or face disastrous consequences. In response, Eisenhower issued the order to quit, abruptly abandoning an ingrained 40-year habit. This exemplifies a profound principle: no man is truly free unless he has mastery over himself. In the words of Epictetus, this story isn't just about overcoming a smoking habit, it's about conquering any addiction that has enslaved you. We all have our battles, be it with unhealthy habits, procrastination, or negative thoughts. Insecurities, feelings that we don't deserve to live a better life. The complete change lies in the affirmative imperative, in giving yourself the order to stop. When you assert control over your impulses instead of allowing them to control you, Seneca, another wise Stoic, observed that we are all slaves to something. But the beauty of Stoicism lies in recognizing that we hold the mental and psychological keys to our own chains. How can you apply this to your life? Identify that one thing. Maybe it's that extra cup of coffee, the endless scrolling on social media, procrastinating while you have a paper due, smoking one more cigarette with friends at work, drinking too much at parties, or any habit that is more of a hindrance than a help. Recognize its impact on your life and make a firm, energetic decision to stop. This isn't a gradual change. It's a definitive and deliberate action, something you want to do. Don't imprint the past on your present actions. By giving yourself the order to stop, you're not just breaking a habit, you're claiming your freedom. And as you enter 2024, take this message with you. You are the commander of your destiny, and the first order is to master yourself. 7. Learn to say no. Learning to refuse anything has become a fundamental skill for maintaining focus and achieving mental clarity. Marcus Aurelius, a leader faced with the complexities of ruling an empire, understood the importance of discernment. He wisely pointed out that many of our actions are not essential. By rejecting the superfluous, we not only free up valuable time but also expand our ability to focus on what really matters, creating meaningful space by untangling the chaos that surrounds our daily lives. To incorporate this principle into our existence, it is crucial to carefully evaluate our commitments. Are they aligned with our personal values and goals? Busyness is not production. You can be rushing around all day and still have gotten nowhere at the end of the day. And with the thousands of distractions we have today, this has become quite easy and possible. Practicing the art of saying no to these distractions doesn't mean being distant or uncooperative, but rather setting limits that allow us to direct our energy towards truly meaningful activities. Every time we spend our time and energy without purpose, we stop living what really matters. Transforming this dynamic means giving deep and conscious value to every choice. This coming year, make sure that your choices are conscious, that your activities nourish your life in every respect, and not just waste your time. This selective way of choosing your actions is a deep commitment to excellence and authenticity. It is making a conscious decision to invest our time and effort in what shapes our essence, challenges our growth, and helps us forge the life we truly want to live. By committing in this way, we don't just say yes to specific activities, we affirm our commitment to what really matters in our lives. Define what will be essential to your life, and in 2024, know how to say no to what is not defined. 8. Don't delay your progress. Sometimes we get so used to our lives that even though we really want to progress, we feel afraid of change, and situations that were temporary become a permanent reality. Just think of some piece of furniture or object at home that has broken, and instead of fixing it, we end up living with an improvised adaptation for years, a workaround. The message here is don't be afraid of change. Look at transformation as if you were venturing into the incredible world of surfing. If you resist, you'll be carried away by the waves of life, but if you adapt, you'll flow with ease. Marco Aurelio, in his profound reflections, thought about how life is always changing. Understanding that life is a constant flow of transformations is important. By fearing change, we miss out on the countless opportunities it can bring. It's not just about not fearing change, but also changing your outlook to welcome it in a new way, seeing it as a natural part of progress. It's an open window for growth, learning and exploring new experiences. This year, challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone. Whether in small steps by deciding to learn something new, or in big steps such as a career change, or even a reassessment of your perspective. It is precisely in moments of uncertainty and novelty that we often find the greatest personal growth and the deepest satisfaction. Also, cultivate a mindset of adaptability, like a tree that bends with the wind but remains firm. Learn to be flexible in the face of change. Adaptability doesn't mean being passive, but actively finding ways to thrive and grow in new contexts and circumstances. 9. Pick up the pace. Marcus Aurelius was known as the last of the 5 good emperors for his rule and ability to get up and start again. He has a remarkable mindset about the inevitability of facing obstacles and making mistakes throughout our lives. His reflections focus not only on the importance of getting up after a fall, but also on recognizing the intrinsic beauty of our humanity that enables us to achieve this feat. The whole process is difficult because it's what happens in the middle, the transformation from who we are to who we want to be. And in practice, we inevitably make mistakes, stop and fall. And that's why Marcus Aurelius adopted Stoicism and practiced it to develop a mentality of endurance and patience. We won't always follow our diet to the letter or lose our patience in moments of maximum irritation. But when we make mistakes in our daily choices, whether it's slips in our diet, absences from training, or weaknesses when making decisions, it's essential that we treat ourselves with patience. Education needs correction. Correction by spanking doesn't work to change your conscience. It only works temporarily, out of fear. In other words, if you make a mistake like that and you wallow in self-criticism, cursing, humiliating, or belittling yourself, next time you may be able to move on, but not because you've learned, but because you're afraid. When you belittle yourself for a mistake, the chances are that you'll stop trying to make progress. Acknowledge your mistake and hold your head high. Get back on track. As Marco Aurelio reminds us, recover your senses, reconnect, and wake up once again. Embracing this last habit is where the real transformation lies. It's about ingraining the habit of self-compassion and persistence. With each return to the right path, celebrate our ability to recover and get back on track, regardless of how many times we've lost it. Stoicism is a practical philosophy, and in 2024, may these habits be part of your life, and may you have the best year ever. 10. Free up important resources. How often do we waste part of our lives on things that don't make sense? We often say that we have little time, but if we look at our cell phones to see how much time we spend on apps, like checking how much time we spend on Instagram, we'll discover the real situation. It's not so much about getting more time, but using the time we already have wisely. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize our time, focusing only on what is essential. Epictetus, a wise philosopher known for being practical, said, "If you want to improve, you must be willing to appear misguided or stupid in some things." It is only possible to make real progress when you are aware of your shortcomings or what you may lack. Most people don't even realize that they don't manage their time well. That's why they don't seek the wisdom to learn either. In the end, you can only seek wisdom if you realize that something is missing. In other words, if you don't recognize your faults, don't dedicate yourself to self-knowledge, or don't seriously analyze your values, you are in fact unconscious of all this, and little or no progress will be possible. Using your time consciously is about making a conscious choice, not to get lost in what isn't essential. Whether it's avoiding mindlessly browsing the news, over-consuming information, or being digitally distracted by shopping sites, for example, the strategy for dealing with these situations involves twofold awareness and action. Firstly, you need to be aware of where your time goes. That is what you do with the 24 hours in your day. Keeping a record of your activities for a day or even a week may seem boring, but it's the only thing that gives you accurate information about what you do and how much time you devote to each activity. This awareness is the first step towards change. Then comes decisive action. Start by reducing the time you devote to these distractions. Set limits on the use of apps. Define specific times to get information and avoid browsing the internet aimlessly. It's not about disconnecting from the world, but choosing not to sink blindly into it. By reclaiming your time, you'll find that you have more space for what really matters, pursuing goals, cultivating meaningful relationships, and promoting your personal growth. This habit is not just limited to time management, but fits into the management of our own lives. Its essence lies in ensuring that the precious hours of the day are invested in activities that enrich and strengthen our existence, rather than leaving us completely exhausted. One thing that may be leaving you totally exhausted may be that society has failed you as a man, and here, in this video, I show you how to stand up and live as a man of virtue.